to break out the towns in the county and how much money they get in funding as opposed to Parsippany Troy Hills. And this will be mind-boggling. Dover, New Jersey, with a budget of $42 million, receives $22 million in school funding. 52% of their budget is school funding. They get, on 2,925 students, they get $7,591 per pupil in state funding back. Wharton, New Jersey, on a $12 million budget, they receive $3 million, so 28% of their school budget is state funding. Jefferson, $53 million budget, receives $14 million in school funding. 26% of their budget is school funding. Roxbury, New Jersey, $67 million year budget, receives $11 million in school funding. 17% of their budget is school funding. Randolph, New Jersey, with a $79 million budget, receives $10 million in school funding. 13% of their budget is school funding. Parsippany Troy Hills, with a $126 million budget, receives $1 million. That's less than 1% of the budget is state funding. That's $146 per pupil. You know, with a 2% cap, and listen, this becomes unsustainable. Funding and the parity has to be changed, because if it's not changed, taxes will increase. The only thing that's going to decrease are services at an alarming rate. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm bringing up the school budget since I have nothing to do with it. Well, I get a lot of phone calls on it. I had a gentleman call me last year, says to me, you know, Mayor, I know you have nothing to do with the school budget. I said, well, thank you. I took a little breath and like, thank you for understanding that. Oh, no, I'm not done yet. But since you're the mayor, you own it. Well, I have to tell you something right now. If this doesn't change, and I believe over time that it will change, I believe we have the right governor in there to get it to change. It's going to take time. But this is a significant amount of your taxes. Unless we start getting our parity. Listen, I grew up in this town, ladies and gentlemen. I graduated from Parsippany Hills High School in 1979. We had approximately 50,000 residents. When I went to high school, there was 11,500 students in the high school total. Now, we have about the same amount of residents, 50,000 residents, but we only have 7,300 students. So what this tells me is we have a high senior population in Parsippany Troy Hills. Okay? So, things have to change at the state level because we need their help. I'm a big Ronald Reagan conservative. And I agree with what Ronald Reagan says. He said that the best form of government is that government that is closest to its people, and that's local government. And that's exactly how I feel. Communities is what builds this country. And you know, I don't know how long the Parsippany Troy Hills and other towns in the county can continue to take the hits for other towns. But it just totally has to stop. And I will always be that voice. I will always fight. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. If I feel something's not right to the town of Parsippany Troy Hills, I'm going to be at the forefront. I'm going to be fighting for it. But ladies and gentlemen, I know it sounds like a lot of doom and gloom, but there's hope. Despite all these challenges, like I said, there's hope. Whoever thought, when I went to Parsippany Hills High School, I'd be talking about this next subject as if it was a gold mine. A sewer treatment plant. Well, the sewer treatment plant, when completed, and we anticipate to be completed either the end of this year or sometime next year, like in April, am I correct, Jasmine? We're going to reduce our energy costs by 60%. 60%, which means now, when we start reducing our energy costs, it becomes more efficient, we can reduce the sewer fees. Now, as you know, in 2006, the sewer fees increased 52%, and there was a reason for that. The reason was that the sewer treatment plant was dilapidated. We had $56,000 in surplus at that time. If those fees weren't raised, if anything catastrophic happened, It was coming out of the general fund to pay for it. State of emergency for the town of Parsippany Troy Hills. Well, I'm proud to say that when this sewer treatment plant's done, it's going to be the state of the art, not only in the state of New Jersey, but from what I understand, the nation. Another component of the sewer treatment plant I never thought I'd be talking about when I was 16 years old, the incinerator. Right now, I can't really explain the incinerator because we go through litigation to it, but that is going to be positive revenues to the township of Parsippany Troy Hills. And that's money that can be used to offset the losses that we've had in the past. Solar project. Once again, we've met with several individuals on the solar project. We have a very large solar project in mind for the township. This will further reduce our carbon footprint and reduce our energy costs. Shared services. Well, Parsippany Troy Hills is open for business. I've let other towns know that. We're sharing services with Hanover Township right now, with our animal control. We're sharing services with the health officer with East Hanover. We're saving just East Hanover alone $60,000 a year. Okay, these aren't big projects, but little by little, if they continue to happen, we're going to be at the forefront of it. You know, the Senate President made a comment in regards to the fact that if towns don't share services, that they will lose their aid. I'll tell you, we're doing a great job in sharing services, but I kind of frustrated me when he said that. I understand where he's coming from. Yes, we have to do these things. We have to share services with other municipalities. But I would like to sit down with any member of the legislators and say, I got a plan. I'll sit down with you about how we share services if you sit down with me and how we share funding. That's never going to happen. And economic development, that's the last thing I want to tell you about here tonight. Economic development. Since I became the mayor, I have met with a few developers. I've met with some commercial realtors. It's about being proactive. It's about reinventing Parsippany. It's about redeveloping Parsippany. We need to increase the values here in Parsippany, our commercial values. Because as of right now, the residents of Parsippany Troy Hills pay 60% of the taxes to the township, commercials pay 40%. I'm going to do everything in my power to change that. I met with a few developers on a town center, on a lifestyle center, on a family entertainment center. I'm not going to stop until our rateable base increases.